Hi, my name is Phil Grande, philsgang.com. I'm going to tell you something about your 401k that you don't know. You know the 401k is a tax code? That's what it is. Here's how it worked. In the 80s, you had pension funds, but they decided to give their CEOs a benefit on top of the pension. It was called 401k. That was to shelter their income. That way they could keep the CEOs because it was very competitive. But when all the jobs were shipped overseas, they no longer could keep pension funds. Too expensive. So they shifted all their employees to a 401k, duping you thinking it was a good deal. But what they did is they charged hidden fees, which amount to about $250 billion a day, that they gave to lobbyists to go to Washington to make sure that this 401k would never be transparent. Here's what came of it.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
That's right. So join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, we come in the morning, we have what we call coffee talk, but we just don't sit around and throw the bull. Or joke or laugh. Our coffee talk is serious. Every morning before you start out investing, we have an intense discussion on what is going on and where we should be investing. Because it's all about not the money, but where you're putting that money. Join my gang, philsgang.com, and enjoy the best coffee in town.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Every month now, we get jobs. They give us the job numbers. We've been averaging, they tell us, 235,000 jobs a month. It's been a lie. That's a bogus number. The BLS, that counts the jobs, they use what they call the birth-death model system. What they do is they manipulate the jobs, so 40% of that number that you see is fake. That's right. If you take 235,000 jobs, the number really is 140,000. They bogus up about 95,000 jobs. But that's what goes on now on Wall Street. That's why you want to be a member of my gang, Phil's Gang, philsgang.com, because that way you get the truth. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Time is the one thing that we want more of. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey. They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, every day we hear from Wall Street, you turn on the TV, and they're telling us how the economy's great, everything's great, and these are the same people that run the 401ks who, with a 2% fee, take more than half of your money and put it in their pocket. You will never retire comfortably in a 401k. But try to convince 90 million people, it's almost impossible. People just don't listen. They get comfortable and stay with these 401ks. They don't work. You're not going to be able to retire. It's simple. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Join the gang, try it for a month, and we're going to show you how to use a chart. And that is going to put you in such a comfort zone of retirement.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Be sure to watch the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on various devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right in your hands at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
Time is the one thing that we want more of as a St. Jude parent. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey.
El que St. Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow, they pretty much have saved us.
They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, people make it too complicated. Wall Street tells you the market cap and the trailing PE and the forward PE and price to sales to confuse you. All you need to know is, does the stock have volume? What's that mean? Energy. What does that mean? If you have people buying a stock, enough of the stock's being bought, it influences the prices to go up. Join my gang, philsgang.com. We're using charting, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
And for that matter, what is the likely long-run level of GDP growth? We're really quite uncertain about that.
Sears Holdings announcing more store closures as part of its effort to get back to profitability. The troubled department store chain planning to shutter 68 Kmart discount stores and 10 of its namesake Sears locations this summer.
More bad news, more bad economic news, but we're being told every day, hey, the economy's doing just great. The stock market's only 2% away from an all-time record high. How things are just doing so well. Again, the push is on to convince you and me that you look at the stock market to identify the condition of the economy. They are putting on a full press. They really are. I'm talking about the White House. A full press to get everybody to look at the stock market. Keep rallying the stock market. And that's okay. We think myself and my gang going to sit back and go, well, you nuts. I found God. This is bad. You shouldn't do that. We shouldn't buy stocks if they go up another 20%. You know, after all, they cheated. Well, you nuts. Of course not. We're going to go along with it. Here's what's going on. This is interesting. Yesterday, you saw the stock market drop 200 points. People got all panicked. I said, don't panic. Don't panic. Because the reason why stocks sold off, bonds sold off yesterday, we saw the stock market sell off as a result of U.S. investors selling off bonds in sympathy with Europe selling their bonds. Because Draghi, the head of the ECB, came out and said, hey, we may do more negative rates. Let's do more negative rates. In fact, there was a secret meeting at the White House with Aunt B because things are so bad with all the money that they put into the stock market. That's doing just terrific, up 122%. But all the money they put into the economy, it's doing nothing. Our economic growth, the amount of goods we produce each month, is 0.1%. What are you, nuts? This is crazy. So they're having a meeting. They're talking about negative rates, which are terrible. So yesterday, Draghi comes out and says, I think we're going to do another round of negative rates. And boy, the bond investors, they just dumped their bonds. Interest rates went up. Stock market went down, especially stocks like in the utilities. The utilities crashed. We had the XLU sector, the utility sector, sell off 4%. Duke Energy sell off 5% because when interest rates go up, and the stock market sold off 200%. And not only did we have the interest rates go up, but you had the dollar go up. But what was amazing, our metals were holding beautifully. We still have tremendous gains in our metals, our copper, our silver, Beautiful. Gold. So they're holding. So always remember, anytime they make these announcements, you got to watch what the bond yield is doing. If they sell those bonds off, they don't like what they heard, your interest rates go up. And the easiest place to make money is immediately shorting the XLU. That's the utilities, a basket of utilities. You go short Duke. You would have made a nice 5% return in one day on Duke if you were a gang member. That's right. So we went on the 10-year yield, the interest rate, same thing, on the 10-year, went from 1.77 up to 1.87. And that's what took down the stock market 200 points and drove up the dollar. And that's in the interest rates. But we have more bad news. We have 10 Sears stores that closed, 68 Kmart stores that closed. U.S. manufacturing just got the number today, plunged to a 7-year low. U.S. factories reported their worst month in 6 years. Earnings growth for the quarter we're in, first quarter 2016, declined 14%. What are you, nuts? 5 straight quarters, our earnings growth has plunged. We're not growing. Our earnings aren't growing. But doesn't matter, does it? Even though we have plunging existing home sales that are terrible, they plunge. Housing starts plunge. Same sort of sales plunge. But the stock market keeps going up. It's right back up again today after that little hiccup they had yesterday because of the announcement that Draghi was going to do these negative rates. And by the way, these negative rates don't work. What they do is they charge you money, you and me, to put our money in the bank. If you have a savings account or checking account, we get charged. Say it's a savings account. You want to go in and put your savings in, you want to put some money in your savings, you got to pay them. You got to pay them 2 or 3%. Now, why do they do that? Well, they want you to think, are you nuts? I'm not going to pay you 2, 3%. I'll go spend money. And that's the idea behind it, for you to go spend money. Draghi said, oh, it was working. It's not working. He's lying. It's not working. It's a Hail Mary pass. It's when they look in their bag of tricks and there's nothing left they can use. Just like in the United States, we printed trillions and trillions of dollars, and the $4 trillion we put in the stock market, that was perfect. That gave us a stock market rally of nearly 180%. But the economy, instead of going up to 4% GDP, we're at 1/10 of 1%. So let's use an annualized rate. Let's say an annualized rate, even give them 2%. That is terrible. That is pathetic. But here we are with stock market just 2% away from a new historic high. How could that be? Yet stocks are going up 7 times faster than earnings. Earnings are going down. Stocks are going up because they're manipulated to go up. That means the valuations of the stock, like the S&P, is at 24 when it should be at 12. So all the stocks you're buying today, I don't care if it's Coke or Starbucks or whatever it is too high. The values are too high by about 40 to 50%. See, that's called a bubble. That's how you get a bubble. See, that's a bubble. A bubble is created when the administration, Bush did the same thing, when the administration wants us to look at the stock market as the indicator of how the economy is doing. And as the economy gets worse, and like we're seeing here, earnings growth in the quarter we're in dropped by 14% for 5 straight quarters. And then you go and look up all the other numbers. You see housing starts are down, same-store sales are down, existing home sales are plunging, manufacturing is plunging. So you say, well, how can the stock market keep going up and be just 2% away from all-time high? Simple. They manufacture the stock market to go up. So as that market keeps going up and your earnings get your profits get worse, that causes valuations on your stock to be way too high. S&P at 24 should be at 12. That's how it works. See, and take a look at Starbucks. What happened to Starbucks yesterday? In Starbucks, we had a drop, and I'll give it to you here. We had a drop from about $61 to $57. 61 to 57. 6.5% drop in one day. Why? Because Everybody knows what's going on. These valuations are crazy. What they're telling you is the valuations, if you equate it, we're going to see about a 40 to 50% stock market crash. And that's why everybody went to the metals. All the smart money started a few months ago, go to the metals because they can see this. So that's why there was a very important secret meeting at the White House to say to Yellen, we got to do something. What they're saying, let's do negative interest rates. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll do QE. That's what I think. I'll be back. It is now 15 past the hour on Phil's Gang. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Yellen came out and told us that she is basically going to pull back the 25 basis point hike that she had in December, the quarter point, because the economy is bad. Then she's going to do quantitative easing. So what does that mean? That means as the economy gets worse, the market's going to go up. See, most people think when the economy's bad, the market should be going down. Just the opposite. Because when the economy is bad, the Federal Reserve comes in, prints money, gives it to the companies to buy their own shares back to push their stocks up. Because when the economy's bad, people aren't out spending and their stock doesn't go up. This is how they do it. A great opportunity. Don't miss it. Join my gang, philsgang.com. Become part of this wealth effect. philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When's the last time you've gotten a raise? It's been a long time. When's the last time you got overtime? That's been a long time. Sure, why? What people don't realize is we got two components out there that is killing your standard of living. Free money provided to CEOs from the Federal Reserve, and then the way the CEO is being compensated. CEOs are not compensated on performance anymore. CEOs are compensated on stock options. That's how they make most of their money. So as long as the Federal Reserve will give them money free, they're going to focus on the CEO buying shares back to pop that price up to make that stock option. That's why you're not getting paid. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Be sure to watch the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on various devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right in your hands at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
Let me ask you, could you use a little extra money? Well, of course you could. Everybody could use that extra revenue to pay the bills, pay down debt, or save for retirement. With philsgang.com, we help you make that extra income in the stock market. For over 15 years, Phil Grande and philsgang.com helps folks who are interested in learning short-term and long-term investing by providing professional-level charting skills and strategies. philsgang.com is your number one source to learn, invest, and profit in the stock market. And you can do this for only $49.95 a month. With philsgang.com, you learn how to invest in the market. You get daily investment coaching guidance, and you will learn to invest and trade with the skills and confidence of the pros. Just log on and get daily investment instructions and make profits. Plus, all philsgang.com material is archived for your convenience. Go to philsgang.com to join or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Call today.
Time is the one thing that we want more of. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey. They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande, philsgang.com. The 401k big lie. They tell you invest $10,000 a year for 30 years, compounded at 6% annually. You will have a grand total of $245,000 to retire. That is not true. That is not the truth. What they don't tell you is the hidden fees. There's 27 hidden fees in your 401k. When you're all done, you lose half of what you put aside for your retirement. That's right, half. And another thing, you're not allowed to do individual stocks in a mutual fund. And you're not allowed to make money when stocks go down. That's ridiculous. Would you buy a car with just forward and no reverse? Why would you ever be in a fund that you can't make money when the stock market goes down? Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by Phil's Talking Trader Stock Charts.
Manufacturing is growing at the fastest clip in about 2 decades.
Manufacturing firms are seeing a boon because their cost of energy has declined. Net, the United States is in a good position.
Oh, really? Well, let me just tell you, they're wrong. Again, they're telling us fantasies. They're giving us fantasies. What do you say? Anybody that says the economy's not doing well is peddling fiction. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Peddling fiction. Really? Who's doing the peddling here now? Who's doing the peddling? U.S. manufacturing have plunged to a 7-year low. U.S. factories report their worst month in 6 years. But what is he saying?
Manufacturing is growing at the fastest.
It's unbelievable. This is the same guy that said we could keep our doctor, we could keep our health care. And then Pritzker, same thing. Manufacturing is booming. Booming? It's plunging. It's just they are just lying. No wonder Obama had a secret meeting at the White House. Let's think about this. Remember that $700 billion, that stimulus, the very first stimulus? And then they said, we're going to take 200 of that. We're going to put aside so people won't lose their homes. Then after they got the approval from Congress, they said, no, we're only kidding. We're going to keep that money. And then we had 14 million homes go into foreclosure. Remember that? That $700 billion? That was nothing. That was pocket change compared to the trillions and trillions of dollars they flooded this economy with. $3 trillion alone went into the stock market. That worked because the $3 trillion went into the stock market. That was to move the stock market up let's average it up, about 180%. 180%. But what about the economy? They put $15 trillion in, plus another $9 trillion in secret money. Backdoor bailouts, they call it, to the 5 major banks, yet the economy can't grow. The economy is, on an annualized basis, 2%. That means you're averaging just 225,000 jobs. You want an economy, a GDP growth of at least 3%. 3%. So at least you're doing almost 375,000 jobs. So no wonder they had this meeting. They were so upset and they're panicked. What are they going to do? Now they're talking about, well, let's do, why don't we do what Japan did? Let's do what Draghi's doing. Let's do negative rate interest. But that is so stupid. That is so stupid. We're going to go to the bank and pay them to hold our money. And we're going to say, oh, we're not going to do that. Let's go spend all our money. What are you, nuts? Savings grows the economy. If you don't have savings, you don't have economic growth. So now nobody's going to save and they're just going to keep spending. What are you, nuts? You've got to have savings. That's where economic growth comes from. Savings, economic growth are closely related. They increase productivity. And when productivity increases, our standard of living increases. But if you don't have savings, you don't have economic growth. That means we're not producing goods. That means we're not productive. That means our standard of living has dropped. And boy, has our standard of living ever dropped. Are you kidding me? You talk about dropping. We've never seen more people go into and slip into poverty, the middle class. Let's take a look at the Stock Corner.
Stock Corner is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel. Go to philsgang.com, click on the video channel graphic, and check out Phil's free videos on the market, economy, and current events.
And the Stock Corner is brought to you by Walter's Way, a wonderful book. If you want to order the book, waltersway.org, or go to Phil's Gang. It's right there. It has received so many awards, but the most important award they received in the last I think it was in the very beginning of the book was the Axiom Award, and that's the most important award a book can get, a business book can get, because anybody who buys a business book, that's what they look for. They want to see if they got that award, and if they got the award, they buy the book. Now, these books have been selling very nicely, and thank you. We appreciate everybody buying these books, because remember, the money goes to St. Jude, and it goes to the Vera and Walter Share Family Foundation. So please check it out. It's a great book, great stories. You'll love it. Okay. We're going to have a book signing, too. I keep promising you that. We're almost close to getting a date so you can meet Walter. He is so wonderful. He is you talk about an entrepreneur. Where do you read this book? Where do you see what he went through? Just incredible what this guy went through and what he built. This is incredible. Okay, let's go to Stock Corner, and I'm going to give you my number. If you have a stock and you want to know about the stock, I'll put it up on my PT too. And here's the number, 855-745-7445. That's 855-745-7445. What I'll do, you don't have to be a gang member, and I'll just put it up on my PT2, and I'll tell you what it's doing. I'll tell you what it's doing. I'll give you an example. What if you take right now Caterpillar? Let's take Caterpillar. Put Caterpillar up. Now Caterpillar has gone from $62 to $80. 62 to 80. Now that is, we have a 29% gain, but now we're getting a signal. The institutions are pulling their money out. T. Rowe Price, Bank of New York Mellon, J.P. Morgan Chase, Franklin Resource, pulling money out. Would your broker call you and tell you that? When's the last time your broker ever called you and said, hey, they're pulling money out of Caterpillar, we better get out? When's the last time you heard that? You don't hear that from them. They don't care. What do they care? They don't want you. And if you do call me, you're concerned, should we get out? You think we should get out? They say, oh, no. Let's just cost average down. So that's Caterpillar. So again, I'll tell you what your stock is doing, how well it's doing, and just give us a call. That's 855-745-7445. Okay? All right. Let's take a look at also another thing. I want to talk about McDonald's today, rather. McDonald's and Starbucks. McDonald's, let's do Starbucks first. Let's do Starbucks, because everybody's in Starbucks. Starbucks dropped from $62 down to $57. Why? Why is that happening? An 8% drop. Why? Because remember, the economy is not as good as it seems. You look at the stock market, you think, wow, what a great economy. But when you look behind the curtain, what do you see? Factory orders plunging. You kidding me? Just incredible what's going on. But they don't tell you. Join my gang right now or call 855-745-7445. 855-745-7445. Let's take a look at your stock.
For more information on this show, go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, it's been 7 years now since Obama ordered his Fed chairman to lower the savings rate from 5% to less than 0.25%. With a false narrative, it would spur economic growth and jobs. Everyone would have an opportunity in this economy. That's what he said. But what it spurred was a front-loading of the biggest, fake, unsustainable stock market rally of 200%. That's what it spurred. Now, most people did not participate in that rally, because people got out of their 401k in 2009. And they said, just get me out. I want nothing but fixed income. And they got killed, because with low interest rates, fixed incomes get murdered. You got to know what you're doing. if you're going to really retire, you got to be associated with the stock market. That's why you come to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Even if the federal funds rate were to return to near zero, the FOMC would still have considerable scope to provide additional accommodation.
Accommodation, what's that mean? It simply means printing money. What she's saying is the economy's terrible. We're going to claw back that 25% or 0.25% interest rate hike that we did in December. And I'm going to print a whole bunch of money so that we can give it to companies to buy their own shares back so they can boost the stock market higher. The problem with that money is 0%. That means that people lose their jobs. They go from full-time to part-time. From part-time, they go to poverty. That's the problem. We can't keep doing this. Here's the point. When the market is going up, it's always when the economy is bad. Join my gang, philsgang.com, so you can participate.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, every day we hear from Wall Street, you turn on the TV, and they're telling us how the economy's great, everything's great. And these are the same people that run the 401ks who, with a 2% fee, take more than half of your money and put it in their pocket. You will never retire comfortably in a 401k. But try to convince 90 million people, it's almost impossible. People just don't listen. They get comfortable and stay with these 401ks. They don't work. You're not going to be able to retire. It's simple. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Join the gang, try it for a month, and we're going to show you how to use a chart. And that is going to put you in such a comfort zone of retirement.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, we come in the morning, we have what we call coffee talk. But we just don't sit around and throw the bowl. Or joke or laugh. Our coffee talk is serious. Every morning before you start out investing, we have an intense discussion on what is going on and where we should be investing. Because it's all about not the money, but where you're putting that money. Join my gang, philsgang.com, and enjoy the best coffee in town.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG.
Time is the one thing that we want more of as a single parent. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey.
El que Sanju no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Listen to this contradiction.
February existing home sales down 7.1%.
American consumers, they have more cash on hand.
What a contradiction. Matter of fact, all the information you get from all the different financial programs, it's all contradiction. But here at Phil's Gang, I will tell you the truth. Join my gang, philsgang.com. You will enjoy it.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. It's 877-600-4264. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
And welcome to Phil's Gang, back to Phil's Gang, I should say. It is open line Friday. You can call in, you can participate in the show. Give me your stock. I'll put up on my PT2 chart or my PT1. I'll help you out. But before we begin with Andy and Brian and John and James, I want to talk, and this will apply to you guys too. Look, Starbucks. Everybody says, why Starbucks collapse? What happened? And they say, well, they come out and the people on CNBC say, well, their growth may start slowing. So therefore that's why. That's a bunch of nonsense. That's a bunch of nonsense. Their growth is going. Here's what's going on. Everybody knows the stock is 50%, 40% overpriced. And that's the whole stock market. It's one big bubble. So smart money is starting to get out of their stocks. And they're starting to buy the metals. Simple as that. So don't listen to the jibber jabber. Okay, don't listen to it. We have such a stock bubble because, again, you can't keep having profits go down, pump money in so the companies buy their own stock to put their price up. And what happens is that price keeps going higher and higher and higher. It's too high. Okay, let's go back to Andy. Andy, how are you, Andy? Andy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Andy. Okay, Ford, right?
Right, Ford. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's put it up for you. I'll put it up on my PT2, and I'll take a look at it for you. What are you doing with Ford right now?
I haven't got into it, and I'm reluctant to get into it at this point because I'm wondering if the big boys are selling into this rally up.
Okay, let me show you. Do you have PT2? Or do you don't?
No, but I've seen your illustrations before.
Okay, great. Perfect. All right. Buy the PT2. Here's what's going on. All the big money, the big boys, started to come in February. That's when they started to come in. Now what's happened, and then the real big money stopped coming in. I can see it right on the chart. The big money stopped coming in by around March. And what it's really been doing is just going sideways now. So they're starting to pull their money out. No, great move. I'm glad you didn't buy it here because it's all over. It's finished. If anything, this would be ready to short, but not to buy. Good call on your part without even looking at the chart. Very good. It's going to be a short, not a long.
Yeah, in General Motors, too, I would expect maybe the same thing now.
Yeah, well, let's see what they're doing with the money. Okay, let's see what the boys are doing. Oh, yeah, see, same exact thing, same pattern. Everybody started to buy GM and Ford at the same time right around February. Now it's over. The bus is out of the terminal. It's gone. It's up to 80%. Now, you got to wait till they pull back.
All right, well, thanks, Phil.
Okay, you're more than welcome. Next, we got Brian, then John, then James. Brian, how are you, Brian? LVS or Apple? What is it?
LVS. I've got 3 put options that expire, 3 48 put options that expire next Friday, the 29th.
Okay,
I'm in the money I'm up on those. I'm wondering whether or not take profits.
This thing, I take some profits. This thing's going lower, though. This thing is going lower. But I would take some because you had a good move here. You had a nice drop in the price here. You had a good move. It's starting to hit a little bit of support here. So I would take some, put it in my pocket, but I certainly wouldn't get out of that position. Not now.
Okay. Sounds great, Phil. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brian. Next, we got John and James. John, how are you, John?
Good, Phil. I got Apple at about $112. I bought it. I see it's down to about 106 or so.
Yeah. All right. Here's the thing now. Apple. How many shares do you have?
100.
Okay. I want you out of Apple today. Okay. At least when I say 100, just keep 25 shares for now. Okay. Because what's happening with Apple, we're at a very, very crucial point. If it breaks 104, and it's almost there, if it breaks that 104, all those buyers will leave, and it will go down another 5%, 6%. So why don't you just leave a few shares on? Okay, and if it breaks below 104, then take those off too.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, yeah, because I can see the money coming out of Apple. Okay, next we got James. Hi, James.
Hi, Phil. How are you doing?
Oh, CVX, I'm glad you're talking about this because I'm going to be talking about the railroads in a minute and what's going on with the railroads, how they're being affected by coal, and perfect stock to look at.
Yeah, I've been buying this in the low 70s, and I have about 600 shares of it.
Yeah, great play, and we did too. And right now, here's where we are. The easy money's been made. All of the easy money's been made. You can see it on the chart. You can see where all the big momentum of the money coming in. And now what's happened, we're starting to see the money start coming back out. We're seeing money come out. And what's happening is this stock is really bloated. And like all stocks right now are bloated. They're going up for the wrong reasons. And these companies, I'm telling you, the coal industry is killing these companies. But just look at its chart. Let's say I didn't even know it was a coal company. I don't have to know what the thing is. Just look at the chart itself. I'd be taking most of my shares off right now. Keep few on, but this thing is starting to get really overbought. Now, if it can't break above 104, can't break above that, and it breaks below 95, then get out of it. If it breaks below 95.
Hey, Phil, Chevron, is that a coal company or oil company?
Oil company. I'm sorry. Oil company. Chevron. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Okay. I got coal on my brain. And here's why. I want to talk about the coal companies. Okay. And by the way, CVX oil. Okay, let's go back to oil right now. It's the same thing. The beautiful thing about the chart, you don't even have to know what it is. If it's coal or what, because that's the beautiful thing. People don't have time. You don't have got time to go research what it is or what it's doing. I mean, you haven't got time to go research what the forward PE is or the price to book or the profit margin, how much free cash flow they have or operating cash. You haven't got to know. See, that's the beautiful thing about technology today. We don't have to know that anymore. You don't have to sit there and study this stuff, all the fundamentals. And you certainly don't want to go to Wall Street and buy a stock from them. Are you kidding me? So the beautiful thing about charting, it's simple. You haven't got to know anything about the company. Nothing. All you got to know is money going in or money going out. And the beautiful thing, like CVX, you could tell right now, CVX, oil, the money just had a nice run. Matter of fact, let me give it to you. When this turned from red to green, it went from $85 up to 103. 85 to 103 approximately. Now, that's a 21% gain. 21% gain. But guess what we're seeing now? The money is starting to come out. Now, what you do is you say, okay, I'm going to take maybe 3/4 of my stock out, put it in my pocket, and then just let the other ride a little bit. And then when you see CVX drop below $99, you get out. The chart tells you that. It tells you all this. Now again, I want to talk about continue to talk about coal here. Coal is, I mean, people just don't understand what's going on. Everybody talks about, okay, the same store sales are down. Everybody's talking about housing starts are down and auto sales are down. But nobody's talking about railroad. Nobody's talking about railroads, cargo, coal. And that's a problem because remember, the economy, the coal industry is the cornerstone of our economy. It provides 550,000 jobs. And for each coal job, it creates a multiple effect of 3.5 jobs. That's the beautiful thing. And Obama administration has been putting coal mines out of business using EPA regulation, causing 125,000 jobs to be gone. 125,000 gone. That's wages that we've lost in the economy of $11 billion in wages are gone. So this is so bad, the coal industry. And he did such a war on the coal industry. Remember what happened about a year ago? The House of Representatives they passed a bill HR 3409 to stop him from doing a war on coal companies. Now look at the power plants. The power plants. He had the EPA pile on new clean water regulations. What are you, nuts on these coal power plants? And each regulation, he made sure it cost the company $1 billion for every regulation. And that cost 8,500 jobs every time he did he had the EPA put on a regulation. The total power plant jobs plunged 28%. And you want to know why the economy's in trouble? That's why. We'll be right back. Phil's gang, join my gang. Check it out.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
We're on our best 2-year job creation streak in 20 years.
What are you, nuts? Who'd believe that? Let me tell you the truth. First of all, the 292,000 jobs we got in December 2015, and they told us the unemployment rate is 5%. Not true. You can't trust these people on Wall Street. You can't trust the press. What they don't count is, in December, for example, the 615,000 discouraged workers. A discouraged worker is a person unemployed, gave up looking for work, but this administration does not count them as unemployed when calculating a 5% unemployment rate. Instead, they classify the discouraged as marginally attached to the labor force, but they're not considered part of the labor force or part of the unemployment. That's why you can't trust what they tell you. If we back into 625,000, the real unemployment rate is 12%, not 5%. That's why you got to join my gang, where you get the truth and where we use charts. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande, philsgang.com. The 401k big lie. They tell you invest $10,000 a year for 30 years, compounded at 6% annually. You will have a grand total of $245,000 to retire. That is not true. That is not the truth. What they don't tell you is the hidden fees. There's 27 hidden fees in your 401k. When you're all done, you lose half of what you put aside for your retirement. That's right, half. And another thing, you're not allowed to do individual stocks in a mutual fund. And you're not allowed to make money when stocks go down. That's ridiculous. Would you buy a car with just forward and no reverse? Why would you ever be in a fund that you can't make money when the stock market goes down? Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Time is the one thing that we want more of. Without the donors, I wouldn't have my Audrey. They take care of our housing. They take care of our food. In addition to the best medical treatment that my daughter could ever have. So it allows me to focus on my daughter and getting her better.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Every month now, we get jobs. They give us the job numbers. We've been averaging, they tell us, 235,000 jobs a month. It's been a lie. That's a bogus number. The BLS, that counts the jobs, they use what they call the birth-death model system. What they do is they manipulate the jobs, so 40% of that number that you see is fake. That's right. If you take 235,000 jobs, the number really is 140,000. They bogus up about 95,000 jobs. But that's what goes on now on Wall Street. That's why you want to be a member of my gang, Phil's Gang, philsgang.com, because that way you get the truth. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. I want to thank all of my callers. And remember, every Friday is going to be open line so I can help you with your stock. I can put it on a PT2. And it's so helpful, the PT2. It's so easy. Okay, give you an example of what's going on. Now, I've told you, now we've heard this over and over, right?
Our economy is steadily growing.
And he says that forever. But it's not. A GDP, economic growth. Now, what is GDP? Every month they measure how many goods we produce. And you want to hope every month you're producing more goods. Why? Because the more goods, the more jobs. The more jobs, the better the economy, because people take the money, they save it, and they go spend some, they invest it. That's what grows your economy. Now, what he did when he came into office, he started out with a $700 billion stimulus, printed $700 billion. Oh, this is going to be it. Are you nuts? He turns around and he puts into the stock market about $3.5 trillion. $3.5 trillion. That brought the stock market up about 180%. That worked. But didn't help America. Didn't help you. Didn't help Main Street. Because most of you aren't in 401ks. And if you are one of the 89 million 401ks, you're not using it anymore. Or you lost money. because you can't make money in 401k because it's expensive. But let's move on. So the Fed for 8 years had this explosion of money creation at zero interest, but the economy's growing. Are you kidding? At less than 2%. Let's use 2%. That's ridiculous. That's why we can't create enough jobs. See, it started with Bush. If Bush would have when the banks collapsed and we went into a recession, if he let us go into a recession rather than propping the banks up with a secret $9 trillion backdoor bailout, which, by the way, quantitative easing is also a backdoor bailout for the banks. He shouldn't have done that. If he forced the banks, let the weak ones go, strong ones stay, and everybody, including companies, the public, the government, they have to clean up their balance sheet. They have to get rid of their debt. Now, what happens when they do that? Recessions are a beautiful thing. You have recessions for a reason, for adjustments, just like the stock market corrects. Like each of our stocks is 40 to 50% overvalued. It has to correct. That's a good thing. And we make money when it corrects because we know how to short. My gang knows how to short using the PT2, specifically the PT2. But the problem is when you keep on taking this economy and you keep creating this money at 0% interest and you keep pumping it and you can't. Yeah, you get the stock market up, but you don't get the economy up. The economy's dead. And so what you want to do is have it go into a recession. You clean up everybody's balance sheet. Now that means when after about 12 months of pain, everybody comes out of the recession. But guess what? We start growing like a slingshot. We've had 11 recessions. This is the worst one. Why? Because Bush and then Obama wouldn't let it happen. When you start coming out, you start growing. You start 1% GDP. Then it goes to 2%. And then at 2%, you're around 235,000 jobs. Then you go to 3%, 3.5%. Now, all of a sudden, you're at 400,000 jobs. That's what takes you out. And as you create those jobs, and the first money that starts going into the economy is IT spending. That's the business. Now you know you've made it. The first group that comes out is IT spending. Now, as it starts getting up and your GDP is right around that say 3.5%, and you're creating about, say, 375,000 jobs or 400,000 jobs, now what happens, it starts leveling off. Now the jobs come back to about, the GDP goes back to, let's say, 3%. So you're creating about 325,000 jobs every week, every month. 325,000 jobs every month. So the idea of letting you go into a recession is to take pain for a year. And then you grow and bigger jobs, and your GDP maybe even goes to 4%. But then it all levels out, and your economy now, you got good jobs going, you got good savings going, you got a good economy going. Bush wouldn't let us do that. Obama wouldn't let us do it. So what does Obama do? Instead of doing what is right, just like Bush, he didn't do what was right. If Obama, instead of coming up with a $700 billion stimulus, instead of putting $3 trillion into the stock market, instead of putting $15 trillion into the economy, which it didn't work because he always puts it in the wrong place. That's the problem with these politicians. When they do a stimulus of $15 trillion, they give the money to their friends. They give the money to their buddies. They give the money to the governors who help them get elected. The money never goes to the right place, and all the money went to the wrong place. Matter of fact, we just had another big bankruptcy, $129 million we lost, some solar plant that the stupid money went to. So that's why we're in such trouble, because no president, all they care is about their legacy. That's all they care, and keep the stock market going up. That's all they care about. And the Federal Reserve, the chairman, is picked by the president, and he wants, and that's what they're doing right now. Keep the stock market going up so people think things are good, and underneath it, everything's rotting. Everything's breaking down. And we see it now in automobiles. It's collapsing. We see the coal industry collapsing, but he made that collapse. Everything's collapsing. Our economic growth is pathetic. 0.1%. Can you believe that? So that's why it's important, if he's going to keep moving this market up so that Hillary Clinton can get elected, because here's what's going on. Remember, both Hillary and both Bernie Sanders are saying Obama did a great job, and I'm going to continue his policies. And so they say, let's keep the market going up. And we can say, look how well our policies did. Well, they don't tell people, no. To judge how well we're doing, Let's look at the GDP, how much we produce each month in the way of products. Nobody looks at that. They don't even know what it is. So that's why it's important you start investing using a chart so all you follow is the money. Don't you think for one moment that Vanguard and T. Rowe Price and Bank of America and J.P. Morgan and Franklin Research, Dodge & Cox and Northern Trust, don't you think they're the ones that own all the stocks? When they put money into a stock and you see it turn green on our PT2, don't you think they know what they're doing? Of course, that's their money. So we follow them. Then when they pull their money out, we're going to have to take our money out, or better yet, short it. You have such an opportunity with the stock market because you haven't got to go hire somebody. You haven't got to go to Wall Street and give somebody money, give them your money. Because remember, every time you give somebody a check, you go give somebody a check for $50,000, you immediately lose 50 grand. Why? Because they don't allow you to sell short. When the market goes down, you can't take advantage of that. And also the other problem, every time you're in a mutual fund, you can't buy individual stocks. You have a basket of stocks. That's going to kill you. So the coal industry is dying. That's a shame. How can the economy be growing when earnings growth is dropped 14%, 5 straight quarters? We've had a 10% decline in goods shipped by rail. And when you look at the rail, that's why I got confused. CVX, that's not rail, that's the oil, but CSX is the rail. And the rail is doing really, really. You say, well, how can the rail be doing good when the amount of shipments there is going down? Well, because CSX doesn't go up anymore based on how many earnings they have or how much profits they have. What are you kidding? Nobody cares. It goes up because the Fed will print money at 0% and give it to CSX to borrow. They borrow at zero to buy their own stock to push the stock up. Now the problem is CSX is really only about an $18 stock, but it's trading at $28. So the stock is overpriced big time. That's why you have stock market crashes. But you don't have to worry if you're a gang member, because when you're in the gang and we're following these stocks, we know when the market is going to contract. We can see it. We know what's going on. Just like I told you about wonderful Starbucks. Nothing's better than wonderful Starbucks. But Starbucks, let me tell you what Starbucks is worth. Starbucks is going up because why? Because same thing. Every time they keep buying their own shares back, and the stock on Starbucks is worth, at best, the stock is worth about $42. At $42. Now it just dropped from 61 down to 57. And it can't get above 63. It hasn't been able to get above 63 since October. Since October last year, it can't get above 63. So the smart money knows this thing is going to collapse because it's a bubble, because it's not worth $62 or $63. It's worth 42. Well, how did it get from 42 to 63? Didn't they have earnings? Yeah, but not the earnings they needed. And so what happens is their earnings go down and they buy their own shares and the stock goes up. That's the bubble. And that's why you want to be ready for the bubble. When this market crashes, it's going to be bigger than the past 2 crashes. Join my gang now. Call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG. Sign up now. Help St. Jude. That's all we ask you to do, is to help St. Jude if you're making money. Hey, see you on the chart.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to